agreed with me that it was all factory appearance, looked OEM, all my trans hump, my seat humps, all that stuff's still there. But yeah, I'm not gonna in good conscience, because I will say they kind of hinted that just looking at it, no one would ever inspect my deadener thickness. And I'm like, no, I know there's some areas in there that are thicker than 2 inches, and I will not in good conscience compete illegally. I've never done that, and I won't do it now. So that's what's up with Project SPL. Thinking of doing something else with it, not sure yet, but we got some ideas going. At the same time, because I was building a box truck to compete with DB Drag, now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I actually haven't touched the box truck in a long time. Got the cab back from sandblasting, set the thing there in pieces, just lost all my motivation because of what happened with those rules. So that's what's up with that.
Had a few people say that's going to be a loud neighborhood that y'all live in now.
And I'm hoping not. I'm kind of picky about my house. I never base out around the house.
I do, every day actually.
I didn't even know you had bass in your truck.
Yeah, I have a ZV6 12 and an Assault 3.
So why have I never heard it? Is it that quiet?
No, man. See, you're gonna make me go get my truck and bring it in the building.
We're going to drive it right on the testing room.
Man, I think my Wi-Fi on my phone is like quality. Look at that quality.
That's what I'm trying to figure. Guys, let us know, is it
quality bad on the video, guys?
Yeah, do the videos look kind of awful?
Oh, no.
Let me know in the comments.
Oh, I got a question. I love this one. Best shallow sub. I feel like the term best is always going to be relative.
SML.
So,
a brand new one.
It just so happens.
Oh, you got one.
We have the SML 10. So when somebody says best shallow sub, I automatically think that shallow is your top priority. And if it is, then this is your sub.
I'm looking for it.
So, yeah, that's a 10. I got a 12 in here too. Where's my tape measure?
That's what
There it is. SML 10. It is bad. It is beefy. We're looking at about 3 3/4 of mounting depth. But that's it for best shallow mount. Offered in 10s and 12s, available right now from your favorite authorized Sundown Audio dealer.
And
I would recommend going and checking out caraudiobargain.com. Put multiple things in that shopping cart. There's sometimes I've heard that there's some good discounts once you put multiple items in your shopping cart. So go check it out, caraudiobargain.com.
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't happen to have an SDDN in here still?
No, SDDNs are up from the office waiting to get the specs pulled. So we're doing fields, smalls, parameters, testing on them. Beginning of the week, I got all the 10, 12, and 15, got them all broken in good, beat the snot out of them pretty well. There's some videos, so went live for the 15. I think I did 20 minutes straight at 20 hertz, and then absolutely blasted it there at the end. We wrinkled the surround pretty good on it, just blasting it mechanically. Check out that video on YouTube. That's on here on the Sundown official channel if you haven't seen it yet. There's some shorts floating around of the 10. That's the N10. I know you've got a good one up. I've got one up. Jacob Morris put one up. He snuck in here and got some footage of it. Yeah, I beat the absolute snot out of that DDN10 to the point of mechanical noise. And had a pair of SAE 2500s, one on each coil at 1 ohm. SDDNs are only available in dual 1 ohm. Keep that in mind when ordering them.
How in your camera am I? Like whenever I read my comments, I don't want to be like just.
No, it's just a big old crotch shot.
Okay.
No, I'm fine. I got one
cool
loyal person in here. I got 6 people in here.
Yeah,
it says a little grainy. Is what everybody's telling you.
Oh, we got a lot of.
Looks awful on my tablet.
Yeah, tablet looks awful.
Oh, my bad. I forgot that was a phone. We actually have a lot of questions in here.
Yeah, start asking away.
All right, looks fine. Somebody asked about real-time power on the SDDN.
Here you go. Let's move your phone over here.
Okay.
We're scissoring each other, apparently.
I figured that's how that was going to go. I figured that was an audio thing that people did.
There we go.
There you go, Jerry.
You telling me you haven't been in like an awkward predicament in an install?
Yeah, we might figure out a way to get your phone back further. Actually, take it back by the door or something. If you don't need a plug.
Take it in the hallway.
Will that get a good angle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid.
You just can't read it.
Oh,
yeah.
You didn't
That's I would just have to sprint.
You didn't prepare?
No, I didn't have.
All right, so what's your next question, Jerry?
Yeah, let me see. Let me go to Jerry.
Hang on a second. I'll be right back. I gotta go see what it is. Hey, can y'all hear from that far away? Is that a problem?
They're all deaf.
Sundown
we
Audio
listened to
mini
the audio on my
truck.
phone from the last live feed we did. The audio came out really good. It was all pretty good.
Can you
Nice.
trade in multiple items? Yes, you can. You just have to go to our website, sundownaudio.com, click on the support tab, drop down to submit an RMA, and then put in the comments that you'd like to trade. And we'll respond with an email and give you all that information from there. And I will walk back occasionally to check on comments.
Yeah, you should read the comment and walk back here to answer them. That way we can get it on all the lives.
Sorry,
It's okay. You'll get used to it. Can we see the Z8? Yes, will be videos on the Z8 coming maybe tomorrow.
Really?
Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Well, I'm probably going to bring it in here, do some hardcore testing on it, and shoot some videos and post them up over the weekend. It'd be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing with the Z8. Just keep in mind, it is a Frankenstein right now. It is not the actual, no part of it except for the coil. The coil's original. I think the spider, the cone, it's got a complete cone adapter on it. It looks like shit, to be honest. It looks like, full trash. It works. It works, and we can use the coil, and I can do thermal tests and some of the mechanical tests. We just know once we get the actual production parts in, it's going to be a way better subwoofer. But it'll still be cool to put out some videos right now, because that Z8 has a really, really good-looking booty on it for a 8.
I would say so. And it's got my favorite feature, the thumb hole.
You see my short? So I've got the Sundown hub. I'm gonna make that a weekly thing. Every week we're gonna molest a subwoofer.
Jesus.
That's a word we can't use on TikTok.
Oh crap! I forgot.
Everybody's phone just said.
We can't use that word on
All
YouTube
the
either.
viewers just went down.
So we're gonna have relations with the subwoofer on a weekly basis, and we're just gonna call it the only Sundown hub.
Torture test and the
All right,
SDNs.
Kyle, you got a question?
We might be able to get that
Not
in
yet.
the next live. It's currently in the front office.
Everybody's on your channel, but I'm just trying to get the live.
Yeah, I got 80 people watching right now. So Jerry, you got another question for us?
I got 51 and...
We'll go back and forth.
Okay. Red Rooster 379, thank you for the follow.
Alright, does Sundown still make a 4-inch coil subwoofer? We do not currently have a 4-inch coil subwoofer in production. The team subs have historically all been 4-inch coils. Jake gave a little bit of info on our last live feed about the team sub, I believe. There's a design in the works. It's just not a top priority right now. It's kind of back burner thing, but yeah, there will be a team sub coming back out. There will be a 4-inch coil sub coming back out. There might even be, I know a few people have seen the Monster, the big 5-inch coil. There's a lot of crazy stuff in the works. We prototype stuff well in advance. It was like, you see NSV6s we've had for, I don't know, a year or so, probably more than that. We've had the motors. We prototype stuff way in advance, and yeah, there will be a team sub coming back out eventually. You're up, Jerry.
I'm up.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have questions or am I pulling?
No, so I thought you had it. You were reading a question over there.
No.
Reading a question and coming back and answering it.
Basically.
Yeah, we're just gonna try and go back and forth. Let you get a question. I'll get a question.
All right. Let's see. Best amp to run 4 SAV212s on.
Sol 12K.
Yeah, no. Don't
Yes.
do that. Don't
Yes,
do that.
definitely do that.
Don't do that. I would do that.
What's your answer, Jerry?
My answer? What are those rated at? Are we doing ratings or are we doing...
4K.
There's one sitting right up there. Yep. There's a box if you want to read it.
Oh, wow. That's
Say
made it
4 one.
way more awkward now. I'd say a Salt 6. It's better to have overhead.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go at least Salt 8. I'm a huge fan of overhead, and
He likes more overhead.
Yes.
I don't think that's...
yeah. Well, so what people do when you end up with too small of an amp, people are more inclined to overdrive the amplifier, and the more you overdrive the amplifier, the more you're gonna clip it and induce heat for no reason. Clipping will spike your current, spike your heat, cause your coil to clipping because you clip off the wave and you end up with a flat top on your wave, which then it causes your coil to hang and just basically heat soak for no reason. So the more overhead you have, the more likely you are to not abuse your subwoofers in that way. Get a bigger amp than needed, set it accordingly. You don't have to use all of the power. It's like if you have a 800 horsepower car, you don't drive around every day with your foot, constantly to the floor. you're gonna goose it every now and then, but you don't just red light it and hold it there. So I'll treat car audio the same way.
Anytime I have overhead, I end up having to get recones.
Yeah, you still got to be able to play responsibly.
I've never been able to do that.
All right, here's one for you, Kyle. What's your opinion on the Solo X? What you got? We got one here.
What's my opinion on it?
What's your opinion on it?
I think they're pretty kick-ass, man.
Did you bolt it down?
Kick ass.
This is actually the full one.
Oh, okay.
So I took one out of the box yesterday, straight out of the box, brand new, and just disassembled it all the way down to the motor and basket being apart and stuff. So I plan on doing a video on disassembling one of these and putting it back together. Keep in mind, just because I disassembled a brand new woofer straight out of the box doesn't mean it's blown. It still works. You put it back together. That's why they made the design like it is, because you can actually take it out. You know, some people have trucks and stuff like that. They don't want to run the chrome rims in the wintertime, so they put factories on. So you can do this in the winter. You can just take your speakers apart and put them up for the summer. Just checking. But you see what I'm saying? But
Yeah, no,
these are awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was back there earlier, and Kyle showed me the one. He's fully disassembled, so it's everything's in pieces from the motor to the frame to the entire drop-in assembly.
Right.
And it's actually really cool because you can just disassemble. Even a working subwoofer, you can take it completely apart and just put it back together like Legos. Just
it's just like
interlocks
Legos.
and bolts together. It is really cool design.
Now keep in mind, this is the
Overkill.
pretty much the Solo X series. This is not going to be the only Solo X. They're going to have different ones in the future. So keep your eyes out on these guys because they're definitely cool to see in person, and also they're heavy as shit in person. I think this weighs about 63 pounds. I think.
Yeah. We did one on the scale.
Yep.
Found out how beefy and girthy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Kyle's got a pretty cool video of that.
Are those going to be regular mounted or inverted, or how are you going to do
So my plan is to cage the van. We're going to be doing a 6-order with 16 of these with 16 Warhorse 3600.1s. So these are going to be all inverted. Yep.
Yeah. In case y'all didn't know, Kyle is working on an Astrovan build right now, and is it a Justin's?
It's currently, I drive it every day to work and stuff. I just got to gut it out. So we're slowly doing like second skin deadening inside of it. Just trying to get everything prepped. So once the time comes, we can actually get the metal frame built in there for the cage and stuff like that. So,
give them a quick rundown of what are you running? How many subs? Amps?
As far as subs wise, of course, we're going to do 16 12-inch Solo X. And then we're going to do 16 Warhorse 3600.1s, and we're going to do some 4 channels, about 30 7-inch Street Series mid ranges, quite a few tweeters. 30, yeah. We want to be loud and and those things are screaming. I have a few videos I haven't posted yet, but make sure to check out my YouTube channel.
YouTube straight clipping
STR8CLPN. So
it's on the shirt.
Yeah, it's on the shirt. Look at that. You can grab your shirt too at baseheadtees.com. We're just throwing plugs in there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Kicker reached out to me. We're doing a lot of cool things. I had some wheel sponsors, Audio Effects out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. They sponsored the wheels. Let's see, Second Skin Audio Deadening. They actually helped me out. They sponsored a lot of deadening in the vehicle already. Working with McMahon Alternators. They're helping me get some alts on there. So if you're a company or business that, thinks you want to advertise with me, feel free to reach out to me. But we're working on a few more sponsors, and we can get this thing wrapped and get you all the sponsors that have donated and stuff to get you promotion and stuff like that.
So what's some other products you think you're needing right now? Anything specific you thought about yet?
Right now, I'm trying to reach out to a few battery companies to see if they want to, jump in on the whole bandwagon, I guess you'd say, as far as getting this build out there, because Kicker's a pretty big name, and they've got their hands on a lot of things. And if they ever do anything publicity-wise, I'm sure your logo will be involved.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Kicker has a pretty big marketing budget that they do every year. So, and they're jumping back into the bass head scene very specifically. I've actually talked to several of the guys over there at Kicker about. But this is something they were working on this, I think, pre-COVID, and then COVID had hit and crashed a lot of plans for cardio guys. And so, yeah, they've been working on this big push to get back in the little bit more niche, big bass head scene. You know, there's the big boom and wild hair tricks and all that stuff. So yeah, they finally got on this, and there's going to be a ton of exposure for whoever jumps on this build with Kyle.
For sure, man. Yep. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty exciting.
Sure. All right.
Any new questions? Let's see.
That's right, Kyle.
And while you're reading one, I'll jump on it real quick. How many watts peak can some U Series 15 take? So I'll say this: if your U15 is rated 1500 watts, 1500 is laughable for a good 3-inch roll something like that. But as far as peak, I don't know if you mean like I consider peak as just in a spike, like say for bursts. I've put in the neighborhood of well over 20,000 watts. I think most is about 24K. I've put into some U Series subs. There's some good old testing. I think there's some U15 and U18 testing we did in the old Jeep. Some no wall testing. In fact, the U18 with about 24K, we ended up getting over 160 in that no wall build. Now, I did this so long ago when I had the U Series in Project SPL. Yeah, I was putting about 20K a piece in them in there, and I want to say I topped out in the mid 168s, mid high 168s. I got some U18s in that build, so they can take for peak or for that burp. They can more power than anybody should reasonably throw out.
For the burp,
yes.
I'm going to see a big influx of U recones now.
Send us some business their way.
Yeah, grab your recos at caraudiobargain.com.
There you go. All right, what you got, Jerry?
I had a question about factory amps and factory woofers. Can you use the factory amp and just replace the factory subwoofer to an aftermarket? I'm assuming what they're asking is...
Yeah, it's saying keep everything factory in the car. You're just replacing your sub, and yes, you can very much do that. It's easy to do. Just find out what... Basically, two things, and the biggest one to me when doing any factory replacement stuff like that is mounting depth. Mounting depth's always what comes into play and is an issue. Like if you have a 6.5-inch sub, usually any 6.5-inch sub, mounting diameter will fit with minimal modification, but the mounting depth is always a killer. You got to really pay attention to what you can run in there, and limited depth you'll have in a lot of factory cars.
Which is why the SA6.5 works out great in those applications.
SA6.5 is a beast. There's actually one right there.
Where?
Right there.
What?
Yeah, grab that.
Oh, it is.
Jared, grab the other one too.
This is
the U?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a prototype U 6.5.
Prototype as in I can use it, or
yeah,
prototype?
you can use it. We'll show it off.
Oh, that's way heavier.
Oh yeah, bring them around to the camera.
All right.
I mean, you show them your camera or our cameras.
Tell which one.
SA 6.5 sealed back, so you don't have to worry about venting. Or that's right? Venting out of the back plate, sealed.
Correct.
Just want to make sure I got that right. And then that's the U6.5.
U 6.5.
Shit, sorry.
Looks like A.
Yep.
It feels like an
it's a
8.
big piece.
Hey,
Yeah, second, Derek.
We're live right now. You got to pull something? Just pull it. All right, you'll get dynamite and pull it. All right, so yeah, show the cameras here for us.
All right.
So yeah, it's SA 6.5.
That's how you look there.
Yeah,
big as shit. So, that's cool. I like that. It's like I'm lagging in real time. So this is the SA 6.5, and there again, sealed back plate. This one offers venting through the back plate, through the holes from the gap. Derek, what else do I need to tell the nice people about these things?
I was reading a comment. Basically, the SA 6.5. It's shallow. It's great. It's one of the best budget subs there is for me. I'm actually very, very soon looking to mount some little 6.5s on my side by side. Get some bass in it. I've already got the speakers with the Vexes on the back and everything, but I'm looking to add some more sub to it. So it's going to be the similar version to that. So we got the SA 6.5. Then we have these.
Oh.
And yeah, I kind of try and keep about one of everything. We'll try and make sure everybody can see them. The PSE. So this is our Power Sports subwoofer. Get you all a close-up view here. PSE for Power Sports, Sundown Power Sports. Something we brought out big beginning of last year. We have speakers, coaxials, all waterproof. These were very, very specifically designed to work in small sealed enclosures. So if you run something like, let's grab one of these. No, I'm not going to grab one. They got them out. So if you run something like pods, I run pods on my particular side-by-side. These that we have in 8s and 6.5s are actually designed to work in a small sealed pod. Something we hadn't seen before at all. Most guys just run speakers, don't do a lot of subs, or they'll try and do some kind of custom enclosure, custom band patch or something. So it's like, well, when people just want to buy a sub, have it easily mountable, you just clamp it on. These in a small sealed pod, and they work great. and they're dirt cheap, and they work well in cars too.
The Vex 8 mid is a pretty good option for mid base as well.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They're not rated waterproof, but those carbon fiber cones can take a beating.
Oh, they can.
Ask me how I know.
How do you know, Derek?
Oh, I pressure wash the crap out of them all the time.
I'm pretty sure they can fix it.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up anymore. Here we go. Two 15-inch XV3, 6th, 4th, or flat wall on 12K to be allowed on the lows. I am a 4th order fan, especially with the X's, X15s. So I would recommend 4th. Now, six orders can be good. Here's what I don't like about 6 orders. They're bad. They can be hard to tune in. Now, if you got a good design or you hit up a good designer, there's several of them online on social media, get you a good design to build, a 6 order can be great. Most people don't want to take the time to dial in a 6th order properly because you have 2 porta chambers you have to dial in, and there's a lot of little things you have to do extra. Whereas if the 4th order, for the most part, your sealed section has a lot more give to it, where if you're a little big, little small, it's not going to make a massive effect. But you pretty much dial in your port, and you can get louder easier on 4th order than you can a 6th. I'll put it like that. So that's why I'm a 4th order fan versus 6th order. All right, next up, you got one, Kyle?
No, I'm sure. I only get one person.
You want to see if you got another question, Jerry?
Let's see what we got. Compare the SA 6.5 to the SML. That's kind of apples and oranges, but
I mean, if you're they're probably just looking at the mounting depth.
just shallow.
You have any release date yet when we're getting the NS? You say it was 3 months?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
All right.
Toward the end of summer,
I
probably.
don't even know how we would compare.
I can't get a date.
Wait, what?
Just compare mounting depth.
Go ahead.
I mean, they're going to know you're comparing a 12-inch to a 6.5, but
Yeah.
what's the mounting depths like on those two?
Almost identical. I would
Yeah,
say.
going to be very similar. So, shallow mount stuff like this is really popular in your pickup trucks, whether you got extended cab truck or a crew cab, something like that, trying to get subs on your back seat. These are both very good options. If you're doing any kind of, especially downfiring something in a back underneath your back seat, which is what I was working on in my truck, and that project fizzled out a little bit, so I get back on it. But if you're looking to do any downfiring or something like that, the SML 12 is going to be your bet. It's going to perform a little better versus 6.5. Obviously, you're going to get a massive cone area difference here. But if you're doing a forward firing setup, so you're actually standing your subs up and fire them forward underneath your back seat, that's where the SA6.5s, they're going to shine, because you can fit, I believe it's 8 of them easily underneath the back seat of a truck. And in that instance where you're doing, say, 8 6.5s versus 2 12s, the 6.5s would be my pick there.
I always prefer forward firing over down firing, but that's mostly just because I don't like that muffled sound. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Totally makes sense.
I
All right,
didn't know
next.
you were under the seat build.
Yeah, I tried to have a whole build going on in my truck that fizzled out. I got all the electrical done, and then when it came to doing the custom enclosure inside, I got sidetracked and busy with other stuff. I have 2 U-Series 18s, got 2 amps, a 5K and an 8K. What size box is recommended? Well, let's start with you're saying you have 2 different size amps. Let's hope you're not running them at the same time. Pick the 8K, run the 8K on your 2 18s, and as far as what size box, crew cab Chevy. Now, if you're looking to wallet, you're saying port or 4th. If you're looking to wallet, then you can go with a standard flat wall ported box or 4th order, but I probably recommend the 4th order there if you're going to do a full wall. If you're just building an enclosure to sit in the back, not a full wall, then definitely ported. Porter's going to be where it's at. 18s, you're looking at a minimum of 5 cubic feet. They will perform really, really well in as little as 5 cubes ported. If you go a little more than that, it's just going to depend on where you want your frequency response to be. You go a little bit bigger, it's going to shift your frequency response down if you're really looking to smash the lows. Typically, if you're running a U, your smash the lows isn't your primary concern. It's more traditional sound. Now, U's will play low. They're just not going to do it as good as something like, say, an X. X is going to play low better, but the U is still going to play low, and it's going to keep your traditional punchiness and get louder, right, without a doubt. So yeah, something about 5 cubic feet per sub ported to about 32 hertz would be my preference, and send it. You got your question yet?
I'm dead.
I got one.
Ryan, base of life. I am that kicker, dude.
That's the sponsorship question, and you normally field that one so much better because you explain the detail as to why. But I got a question on, do we offer sponsorships?
We do, not like most people think. So a sponsorship for us, basically, it's like an employment opportunity. So we'll start with how to get a sponsorship is basically what we call our team program, Team Sundown. You're going to email Team Sundown at sundownaudio.com. Send a resume, just as if you're applying for a job, because that's the way we look at it. The team program is a job. You're working for us. Your job to work for us is to advertise. If you don't have any experience in competing, demoing, going to car shows, advertising, so to speak, if you don't have experience in that, then we're probably not going to be interested. But if you do have a good track record, make sure to include that in your resume, just like you would list all your previous jobs and skills you have. Put that in your resume. Yeah, I'm getting dry.
And they want to make sure that they're choosing the proper person to represent their company. So if you're going out there on the weekend and you're just talking bad mouth, talking all other brands and stuff like that, I don't feel Sundown would want to be, associated with what you're doing. So you also have to keep that in mind, not only what you do for the company and what you do outside of promoting and stuff like that. So just one tidbit of what I would throw in there. But sundownaudio.com, scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see Clippo that says Team Sundown. Click on that, and that's what you need to do. So,
you got any questions?
I don't. I have awesome 5 people in there. I think I'm one of the 5. So I'm just trying to do something on my YouTube channel so I can get the views up on there so I can start monetizing stuff like that. So, but
I got to get a tablet. That's what I'm learning.
I thought you had one.
I have an iPad.
I brought my laptop in if I need it. We'll get it set up last time. So yeah, guys, if you're not subscribed to Straight Clipping, get subscribed. Help Kyle out. Give him some watch time. That's the only thing he's lacking right now to get his monetization status up.
Right. And I think a lot of stuff comes up once you get more options and stuff to do stuff. So you can kind of like TikTok. Once you get to a certain level, you can start promoting and advertising and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it, but
on TikTok, it's 10K. And then you can start doing.
Well, I'm good on TikTok.
Yeah, which I'm almost there. I was 99.61 when we started this. So if y'all don't follow Sundown Official on TikTok, if you would, go give me a follow. I'm only 39 followers away from my 10K mark there. And so I hear after you hit 10K, it'll kind of explode. So I'm trying to put more effort in over there, more short videos. Some people don't have the attention span to watch live feeds like this. But as soon as I get everything kicked in over there, we'll start doing some live feeds on TikTok and so. Depending on which platform you guys like.
Yeah, it's hard to choose exactly which one. YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, TikTok Live. It's kind of like,
That might be the thing. We might need to all just 3 be on different platforms.
All right, we got to shout out SFB Raiders. Sent $10 in.
Nice.
Thank you. Wasn't expecting that.
He's buying lunch today for it. No,
$10 won't buy much of a lunch anymore. Not the fast food places around here. But yeah, appreciate that. So 1 year ago, saw 8 pre-order fried. Also frying the spider on my Team Neo 15. Frying the spider. Okay. Last one you guys had new. I've built SD3 with your recones. Is the material and process the same for a team? As far as putting a recone in, yeah, pretty much if you recone one sub, it's similar on most of them. You're going to shim your coil. Well, keep in mind, this is me assuming you've already pulled your sub apart, cleaned your frame, cleaned your spider vane, done all that. You got everything clean, you're ready to install your drop-in. Our drop-ins will come already pre-assembled. Some other companies, when you buy your drop-in / recone kit, you're going to buy a recone kit, but it's not going to be a drop-in. So the difference is, and this is just semantics and the lingo, a recone kit, they're going to send you a box of parts. You're going to get a separate coil and spider and cone and pieces, and you have to glue it all together. When you buy one from us, it's going to be a drop-in. It's an already pre-built assembly that can literally drop right into your subwoofer. The only thing you have to do is shim your coil, slide your coil in, glue your spider, glue your surround, pull your shim out. Don't forget that, and glue your dust cap on. I'm making that sound really easy. It's a little bit more detailed than that, but that's the basics of it. If you've reconed one Sundown sub, you can pretty much recone all of them.
We should do that.
Shout out to Living Loud with Andy.
Yeah, shout out Andy.
Thanks for joining and subscribing, buddy. Thank you.
All right, let's see. Will an 8K Korean board push those new SDDN subs? Yes, very, very much so. Any 8K, you won't have issue. Here on the bench, I had a pair of SAE 2500, so we'll say 5,000 watts of rated power. I had a pair of those on it, pushing it just fine. We're rating them 3,500 watts. That will be 3,500 clamped power watts. So depending on reactive and different variables like that, I would almost recommend going with a minimal salt 6 if you run a sundown amp. Minimal salt 6 per sub. If you run 1 amp per sub, keep in mind you're going to be a half ohm unless you run one per coil. But that would be my choice. And don't try this at home. But I would probably go for salt 8, but minimum salt 6 per sub. And then that way you have the overhead. We talked about that earlier. You don't have to worry about overdriving your amp or producing a clip signal, having any issues that way. We need the yard sale restock. The yard sale is kind of on a little bit of pause right now. We're going through a bunch of changes and new processes here. There is some stuff on the yard sale sitting in the back. We just haven't added to inventory yet. But we had a meeting last week, and there will be some yard sale changes coming, and they haven't been finalized yet. Yeah, we got three phones going live. But the yard sale changes haven't been finalized yet. So once we get all the final details done and what we're going to do and how it's going to change, then the yard sale will be back on track after that. We'll see what's next.
You're good, Soulgasm.
FS frequency response of the SDDN12. So that's coming soon. The subs, the 10, 12, 15, I got them all broken beginning of this week. If you didn't catch us earlier, just check out those videos. There's some on here on the YouTube channel of me doing about 20 minutes at 20 hertz on the SDDN15. Also, some short clips of the SDDN10, taking it to full excursion. They're all up in the office right now, waiting to get all the specs pulled. So as soon as they get done, I'm trying to shoot a video of that, get all the specs pulled, and we'll get them all posted online.
You got Byron Chambliss in here in my live feed. Have you seen his build yet? He's got an Escalade build.
I have not.
Gately is the last video he sent to me. Gately had like all his employees working on that vehicle real quick.
Yeah.
I forget how many speakers he's doing, but it's ridiculous. If you haven't checked it out, Soulgasm is the name of the build.
I haven't seen it. I talked to him when I was at Sky High Barbecue last year, and he was first. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, and I know he was getting it out there. When I talked to him last year at the Sky High Barbecue, talked to him, talked to Bobby a little bit, and I think they were just getting started on it then. Or he was in the works of the details of it and planning everything out. So
yeah,
it's cool to see that build finally in process. I'll have to check out the video on it later. Let's see. Will SAE 2500 do half? No, do not do that. Now, if you want to run half go to a salt series.
You can try.
Don't make that go work once.
We'll see you on the RMA.
That sounds like it's coming tomorrow.
No, to put it bluntly, none of our budget amplifiers. Don't try to abuse them. Just don't. They're budget amplifiers for a reason. So salt amplifiers. We don't. I can't say it for warranty reasons, but they'll absolutely run a half ohm. I've got them in quarter ohm and Project SPL right now. Even playing music in Project SPL, doing bass race runs and stuff. But yeah, if you want to run half ohm, get a salt amp. Go for a quality amp. Spend the money, and it's going to be worth it.
Half ohm at 20 volts.
They will not run at 20 volts.
I mean, these guys are putting a 12K to an SA and
stuff.
No, it's all multipliers.
We're talking we're talking DC input voltage to be specific there. Stay at 15 volts or less. Normally I say less than 15, 14.99. Stand with that. Some of the salts, the voltage cutoff varies. It could be around 15.8, it could be 16.2. Some of the different models vary a little bit. But they are SALT, stands for Sundown Audio Low Voltage Technology. They will make stupid power at 12 volts or lower. Everybody in car audio for the longest running AGM batteries, playing around 12 volts. They want a big power at 12 volts, not at 16 or 18. As soon as we come out with low voltage specific amplifiers, now everybody wants these custom lithium and these 16.5 and 18 volt builds again. Absolutely don't do that on a salt amp. I will straight up tell anybody, if you're running CMAX, you're trying to run 16 plus volts, just don't even run a salt amp. You're going to end up having issues.
Now the SFB 600, we're not supposed to talk about that.
We can't confirm or deny how big a voltage the SFB's amps will run. But they're not warranted anywhere past 15 volts.
When the STDNs come in, will the recones be available for those?
Yeah, I mean, basically recones are available now. If we can build subs, we can make recones. It's just a matter of having parts in stock.
Matt, you getting STDNs in your build? The Clipping Expedition, that thing is ridiculous. I believe it's 618s.
That sounds right.
Stupid. Like, it gives me goosebumps just listening to that truck. Something in this room, man.
You gave Kyle
it's just the talking.
That might be what it is.
Yeah, this SDDNs are obviously they're in the works. We've been posting a lot of pictures, video about them. They're being built in order of who put in what order first. So some of the first guys were Audio Shop and Down for Sound, Game Changer. James Bales has a few subs being built right now. Big Jeff had his SDDN 10s because we also started with the smaller sizes. We started building 10s first, 12s, 15s. Right. We're getting the motors in small batches. So they're showing up in small batches little by little, and we're building them as fast as we can, getting them out to dealers.
So if you want to get your pre-order in, go to caraudiobargain.com. You can pre-order yours. We're located in the Sundown Warehouse, so we'll have ours pretty much the first as soon as they, get here. So because we're waiting on the second batch of motors to come.
Yep. Let's see. Next up, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody.
1215s and the Soulgasm. That's going to be crazy. I can't wait. If you look at that picture, I don't know if I was supposed to say it, but there's a Cadillac logo in the back.
That's what I was trying to show him because obviously no one else knows.
Well, they know that.
So a lot of questions about NSV6s. There's not much to talk about them. We have 2 prototype NSV615s in the works. We've done a ton of testing on them here. I do not have even a rough ETA yet of when the motors will be here.
They don't have any specs pulled on them or anything, right?
I don't know.
Because I get that all the time. Why are you posting them for sale and they cost as much if you're not going to put any specs up? It's like we haven't.
Yeah, so it's because technically we don't have the production versions in the work. Now we will try and run specs on prototypes. So something like what's going on with the Z8 right now. The Z8 is not built with all the original parts. We're trying to run initial specs, but we can't do production specs on them yet. In cases like we just showed you the U6.5 right here, this is a prototype version. That's why there's no poo, nothing special on it, no logo on the dust cap. We do have the production versions in stock. So as soon as production gets going, running good, we always try and express a couple parts in very fast so we can do a final check, run specs on the actual production version of that. Same thing with this. We can give you some rough specs right now on the NSV6, but until actual production gets going, I don't like to make stuff like that official.
Right. I did have a question from Living Loud with Andy. Will Sundown ever come out with a loaded enclosures? And I think he thinks this would be great for the mid to entry level drivers.
Yeah. So this is going to be a multi-part answer. Short answer, yes. There's already been talks of doing loaded enclosures. A little bit longer answer is we've actually already been selling enclosures to the wholesale house, what we call flat pack. So we've been producing flat pack enclosures and selling them through the wholesale house. I'm not sure anybody really knows they exist. Don't know the current status of all that. Yeah, you can jump on here, Brian.
I came to just crash the party and say, hi, motherfuckers, how's everybody doing?
Oh, jeez. There he goes. We're banned.
There goes monetization.
So, back to the short answer, yes. There have been talks of loaded enclosures. Yes, it will probably happen in the future. As far as ETA, I have no clue. If you want something as close as you can get to it currently, I don't know. The wholesale house has our flat pack stuff in stock, more in the works. So if you're a dealer, you go through the wholesale house as a distributor, hit them up, ask about our flat pack enclosures.
Those are in our system, so we can invoice those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not on a price sheet. Nobody ever gave us a real price for them.
It's pretty much as fast as we've been bringing them in. We have these actually made locally right here in North Carolina. The America, all that. We have flat pack enclosures made right here.
I wasn't ready for that. America. I wasn't ready for that.
That's just getting into the made in China, made in overseas versus made in America and all. So yeah, we have flat pack enclosures made right here in America, and pretty much as fast as we can have them made, boxed, and shipped out. The whole house has been cleaning us out of them. So that's, we haven't really spent a lot of time marketing them or advertising or promoting them any because we can't keep the things in stock as it is.
Real quick question. The STDN versus the NSV6. Why choose one or the other?
I can make this. Here's the simplest thing. SDDN is going to run the slightly bigger 3.3 inch coil. I almost wish I had one. I don't have the coil here anymore. In the video I did with the NSV3 versus the SDDN versus the ZV6, I showed some of the coil differences. So your ZV6 and NSV6 coil is going to be pretty similar, 3-inch coil. SDDN bumps up to 3.3. That 3.3 inch coil and the cooling features in the SDDN, it's going to handle more power longer. So if your goal is to smash the lows at high power for long periods of time, the SDDN is going to beat anything else that we currently produce.
Gotcha. Let me see one more.
I gotta figure out how to do all this.
What's up, Roy?
Kyle, what's the date for Ruckus Show this year?
It is going to be the first weekend in November. Just check it out on Facebook. It's up there. Just type in Ruckus and Chill 2023. The dates and all that stuff are up there. It's, of course, the 2-day weekend, like we always do, Saturday and Sunday. But it should be the first weekend in November.
Right. Sundown Show is August 19th. Pretty sure it's the 19th. It's the third weekend in August. We always try to do it the third weekend in August. Only 1 year, the racetrack here, Hickory Motor Speedway, where we have it out every year, they double booked our date. And it was a charity race. So when trying to move either our date or the charity race date, it was going to be way easier for us to move Sundown Show that 1 year than versus a charity. So we was like, all right, let those guys have it. But other than that, it's always the third weekend in August. This year will be August 19th, this Sundown Show. I need to jump on making an event page. I just keep forgetting about it every time I'm sitting at a computer.
I have a question for you, Derek. Square sub output versus circle sub output. What are your thoughts?
It can't be just that easy. We'll put it like this. With everything the same, all of the parameters the same, it's just a 12-inch circle versus a 12-inch square. If it's square, you are going to get more cone area. But when you're talking realistically, say you're going to have a square Solo X here versus something like a ZV6, or I don't know what would be the equivalent price range or whatever, something like an extra ZV6. I don't know. I haven't listened to that because you can have even something that's a 10, but it's going to have massive amounts of displacement. So in that instance, Sundown might get the displacement edge if we're doing an apples to oranges comparison there. But other than that, every other parameter the same. Yeah, square cone's going to get you a little more cone area.
There you go, Roy.
I got a question.
Yep. Shoot it.
Salt 1.5 dyno. 0.5 guesses.
Half of them guesses?
Yep.
My guess is it's going to do marginally better than 1 of them.
I'm just looking at how many people you
Yeah, 96. I think I peaked to 111. I saw at one point. We just jumped to 102.
I got the left.
I lost a whole bunch because my phone went into low power mode.
I got a battery pack right there. If you want to grab it. Oh, you got an iPhone, don't you?
Well,
No, that's my iPhone.
yeah, I got his phone.
Okay.
He's sponsored by DK.
Can I run 4 sets of
I
SA
am. Make sure to check them out.
6.6 CS coaxials off the front channels of my Salt 500.4?
Four sets. So
Like 4 pairs.
I-Series to get 125 watts, or is it wise / possible? I don't know what this guy's talking about.
all right, so you're talking four pair. Basically, you're having four speakers, 4 per channel.
Right.
My traditional answer would be no, because I would recommend going all parallel. And in that instance, you're going to only want 2 per channel. Now, if you're talking about doing a funky series parallel thing, you can make it work. I'm just not going to recommend it, but yeah, it will work if you wanted to. Especially when it comes to mids like that, I'm not a fan of wiring mids in series. Series wiring can do very funky things to basically jump in from one speaker or one subwoofer to another in series. The only time I'll ever recommend series wiring, and we'll use this for example. So here we got a subwoofer that's a dual voice coil. If you need to series one coil to the other, that's okay. Seriesing multiple subs together is never a good idea. And so here's the reasoning for that. When you series one, because basically it's a dual voice coil sub, but it's one coil. You just got 2 windings. You series that, there's still only power in that one coil. When you series 2 subwoofers together, your alternating current goes back and forth. In order for the power to hit this sub, it's got to go through this one first, which means it goes through a resistor and the same back and forth. So you're gonna see phasing issues, and especially when I see guys that've done the series in multiple subs. Once you daisy chain, you start at 3. In order for power to get to that middle sub, it's got to go through a resistor first. So the middle sub will not see the same power. And the more you try and series together, the worse it's going to get. And we've seen massive, I just call them phase issues. It's the easy way to say it. But you're going to see massive power fluctuations and phase issues in running multiple speakers in series.
So it's like those slow motion videos where it looks like a woofer is actually moving before another one in a 212 enclosure type deal.
Yeah, I've seen this in person. When especially when you get to three or more daisy chained together like that. I've seen it in person where things will start to get wonky and get out of whack, and people have issues. They won't have the proper output they should have. Yeah, it's just not a good idea to do it. My recommendation would be you've either add another amp, add another 2-channel or something to get what you need, or take the entire 4-channel, run it all on your components. Whatever you're doing with your back channels, just add a separate amp.
I had a question about your Solo X. I didn't know if you wanted to do a quick commercial.
Quick commercial?
Yeah.
You should probably leave your thing up here so you can plug it in because your
What's
phone's
that?
almost dead.
Oh, I'm about to go back to work in a minute.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, somebody asked about the Kicker Solo X. I figure you might want to talk about it.
Okay. What did they ask about?
Yeah,
So they just asked if it was one.
Yeah, this is the brand new
that's
Bring it
a
around.
Kicker Solo
I'll do
X12.
it.
This is
I'll
the
do it for
D2
you.
model.
Oh.
There we go. Hey, what's up?
dive on in there.
You're all
What's
good.
up, TikTok?
So here we go. It's about 63 pounds weight wise. We're going to do 16 of these with 16 3600.1 Warhorse amps on there. So there we go. Pretty cool. You can pretty much take this whole thing apart. The surround comes out with the whole spider and the terminals all attached. It's all filled serviceable. So there you go.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a text message.
All right. Looks like I got a bunch of questions popping in here at the bottom. Is it possible to see a sundown subwoofer at 10,000 watts RMS? I don't want to say it's impossible, but I don't think we're going to see one anytime soon. Currently, the 3.3 inch coil is getting rated 3,500. Also, keep in mind all sundowns wattage ratings are all extremely underrated. We bring back the 4-inch coil. It will likely again with the team be 5,000 watt rated. Currently, there will be a monster 5-inch coil. I know there's been some info leaked onto that. Don't know what the power rating is going to be once we get all the stuff in, and we do have some of the parts in already. Once we get all the parts in and stuff built, and we start doing the R&D and testing work, we'll produce a rating out of that. So I don't expect it to be 10,000 watts.
So let me ask you this. I have to ask. So you've got 3,500, 3,000 watts for the nightshade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is everybody wanting 10,000 watts RMS? Are you really going to be that much louder with quadruple the power? I mean, if it's in the same enclosure, by making it more RMS rating, is it going to be louder?
So if this is the way I'm understanding your question, you got the demo bow guys nowadays. They just want to build something. They don't want to test and tune or dial anything in to get louder.
Right.
They just want to build it and let it be. So then their only solution later is to go with bigger subwoofers and more power.
Right.
And that's where the change begins. Once something's already built, they're like, all right, I got an X. Well, I need it louder. Well, let me add more power. Oh, the X's won't take it. Now I'm going to go to a bigger sub. Let me go to a Z. Let me go to a nightshade. Let me go to an SDDN and just add a bigger sub and bigger power because that's the easiest way for people to get loud.
Mm-hmm. So, but with more, I guess you'd say with more wattage comes more money, right?
Oh, without a doubt. The more power, obviously the bigger sub is going to cost more to handle the more power. The bigger amplifier is going to cost more money. You also have to beef up your electrical while you're doing all this. You can't just keep adding big power to cars. We saw a period where we couldn't keep 8Ks in stock, and it was funny. We were getting those stimulus checks, and there was just enough money to buy an 8000D, the SFB 8000. We sold out of those things so fast, and you could tell people were putting them into their stock Altima. They were getting warranty returns with literally 18 gauge wire, like power wire, in an 8,000 watt amp. And people were trying to wire these things up with just speaker wire and blowing them like crazy. And there's a lot of bad reputation going on with SFBs when it's just they're a budget amp. You can't abuse them. You can't beat on them. You surely can't put an 8,000 watt amp in a stock vehicle with a stock 65 amp alternator. Your Honda Civic ain't going to support it. So, that's the price of getting loud in that fashion. You got to keep adding electrical, adding bigger power, adding bigger subwoofers.
Okay. I figured I'd just throw it out there for everybody watching.
And in a perfect theoretical situation, yes, the bigger subwoofers, more power, you're going to keep getting louder. Unless for some reason your enclosure is built in a way which usually happens if you say you're doing a basic ported box, but you make it really big. I've seen guys trying to run 5 cubic foot boxes for, say, one Z12, and that's way too big. You absolutely, pretty much over 2.5, you're just going big for no reason. 2.5 will let you smash the lows adequately. You will not gain anything playing something like an X12, ZV612, and actually 12 and going over 2.5 cubes. I've actually done that testing where I literally built boxes from 1 cubic foot to 1 1/4 to 1.5, all the way on up. And we did mass testing. I've spent days and days and days just testing these subs in all kinds of different enclosures and different criteria. That's why most of the recommendations that's on the Sundown website are results of lots of testing that we've done here in-house.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Real Spill Midwest Boxing Talk. It's at $4.99. Awesome. Appreciate that. I have 4-ohm DVC, 1,000 watt RMS, 2,000 watt max subs. What rated amp would you recommend? Well, you didn't say what brand the subs are, so I'm gonna go with, if they're rating them 1,000 watts, feed them 1,000 watts. So so I have 4-ohm DVC, 1,000 watt RMS, 2,000 watts max subs. You didn't say how many, but I would give your subs what they're rated 1,000 watts. A lot of other companies out there don't rate their stuff the way Sundown does. If we say a subwoofer will handle 1,000 watts, we mean you can put 1,000 watts clamped actual power in that sub and play it all day long. Other companies, when they say our sub takes 1,000 watts, they mean you put one of their 1,000 watt amps on that sub rated 1,000 watts. And that might also mean their amp that might not do 1,000 watts. They might call it a 1,000 watt amp and it actually does 500, but they're going to call it a 1,000 watt amp to match with that 1,000 watt sub. And then that sub's going to handle the 500 less whatever it sees on reactive load. Right. So if it's another brand stuff, I'm going to recommend you match up their wattage amplifier that matches their RMS wattage on their subwoofer. If it's a Sundown sub, go double. So Sundown 1,000 RMS sub like SA12, put a two
Jerry.
Return.
Right. Jerry's increase.
Let's see. I thought I had a bunch of questions right here. What's up with the 3-way components? They're pretty much finalized. I don't know if we can see them all right there behind Kyle.
Right here?
Yeah, so this is the new V4 component set. The SA 3-inch mid-ranges are at Clipple right now. There's going to be some small adjustments done to them, but they're off getting full Clipple testing and all the specs tested right now. Small adjustments will happen. Then it'll come back in as a new prototype for testing after that.
Are those a mini version? Are those a mini version?
Yeah, right. But the V4 components are pretty much finalized. They all tested out the ring. Everything was perfect. We're gonna roll with those.
I'm a horrible cameraman.
What we see is Salt 1500 dyno. I have some short clips of the Salt 1.5 out right now. Will be a full dyno coming very soon. I don't know if I'll get to it next week, but the next month or so, I'm trying to get it tested. I actually have it right there. Grab that 1.5. Show them.
Vanna White.
Yeah, so initially the Salt 1, Salt 1.5s were produced specifically for one of our distributors. Now we produced them specifically for them. They were the only ones with them for a long time. They're now coming into stock. Don't have an exact date yet. It could be between 90 days and 6 months if I put a guess on it right now. Salt 1s and Salt 1.5s will be coming fully in stock for all dealers, all distributors to get their hands on. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting on. The moment that they land, that they're available for everybody, then I will do a lot of the promoting for them once they're available.
I'm gonna go ahead and end my live.
Okay, it's all good.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna be doing this every Thursday. This is just for my YouTube. So y'all have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. Derek's still gonna stay in here though, guys.
Why do you keep talking about Kicker when it's a Sundown live feed? Guys, we're just doing basic tech talk. I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but behind the scenes, a lot of the cardio companies, we all know each other. We're all friends. We all hang out together. We go to shows and travel, and a lot of the owners, employees, all different companies. We literally all get along and hang out together behind the scenes. I know several of the guys with their Kicker. I've had meetings with them, had dinner with them, hung out with them. We go do big shows. So there's no hate like that when it comes to us.
My phone's close
Kick
to
the
this.
far
I'm
win.
probably gonna be rolling soon.
All right. Yes, I'm trying to get to everybody's stuff. All right, we just had one more. BMX God BMX sent $5. Appreciate that. NeoPro V4 ETA and how will they match the V3? So we'll make this the last one.
Whenever you get ready. More than
I'll
welcome
make this the
to.
last question I'll answer right here. Give me a second.